It's New Beer Thursday! Woo! And we got Aric in the house. What's up, dude?
Thank you.
You may know him as PhatEmoKid on Twitter.
Yes, not FhatEmoKid.
Not FhatEmoKid.
Or P-Hat.
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 It is Fat.
Tickle Me Elmo on Twitter. So.
Capital P, capital E, capital K.
You are probably the closest thing to an internet celebrity without actually being an internet celebrity.
True.
I wouldn't say that, but...
Everyone on Twitter who knows you and follows you for no apparent reason would, though.
Probably, yeah.
He's the best example of how to use Twitter, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's using it in the social realm. He's not really promoting anything.
He's not promoting anything. He's just kind of there, yeah.
Doing what he's doing.
So I try to take my cues from Aric. So
Thank you.
Aric is also a longtime friend of New Beer Thursday and is in fact responsible for me and John being best friends forever.
Yay! Seriously.
Yeah. So
I think I met you through Aric.
Yep. And Aric was the one who recommended you to be on New Beer Thursday. Because I was talking to Aric about it one night.
Yeah. Really?
Exactly.
Nice.
So
Boom. Look up.
So all the entertainment and joy that you've received over the last year,
It's because of him.
it's because of him.
Thank you.
So we had to have him on the show, and we're very excited because we're doing a really kick-ass beer from like an awesome brewery in the Midwest called Nebraska Brewing Co. And we're doing their Melange A Trois.
Melange A Trois.
It's very sexy.
It is
Definitely
sexy.
is, yes.
A sexy beer for a sexy group.
It
of
would have
men,
been
I
more
might say.
awesome if I was here with two women drinking this beer, but I'll take the beer and get what I can get out of it.
I have some
What's
wins.
wrong with me?
Nothing. Nothing at all. So we're going to go ahead and crack this. And while we're doing that, we want to thank Nebraska Brewing Company for providing us this beer. That's amazing. This is not available here in California, so
No, unfortunately.
we had to get it through a little more sneaky
I've heard a lot of good things about this beer. I've seen a few people tweet about it. I think Taylor, the Art of Beer, has had it, and she thoroughly enjoyed it. So
Oh, yeah. And
I'm looking forward to it. It's aged in Chardonnay barrels
French oak Chardonnay barrels for 6 months. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a Belgian-style blonde. So
And we also want to say a big, huge thank you to Dale from SodakBeer.com, who played messenger for us with this beer.
yeah, he was very gracious. It came out and he was like, "Hey, you guys want this beer?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want that beer."
So we were sent this beer and it was awesome. So thank you guys, all of you, very much.
Yeah.
I've actually had this beer before. Yeah, Angela brought some out. So that's why I'm saying with authority that this is an amazing beer.
It smells really good.
It smells delicious.
I want an air freshener like this beer.
You get a lot of the Chardonnay aroma off of it,
But still, a little bit of the little bit of like funky sweetness going on. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I definitely see the Chardonnay. Oh, totally.
Well, cheers to Nebraska Brewing Company.
Cheers.
Cheers to Aric. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Aric.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, everything.
Woo!
All right, let's try this. If I can get past this crazy fat head.
They have another beer called Fat Head, actually.
This is awesome.
This is really good. I really like this beer because this. If I had
that
this
is awesome.
locally, I would definitely keep about 4 or 5 bottles of this in my fridge at all times because I have a lot of friends who are wine drinkers and I don't want to try your crazy craft beer. This is a perfect crossover.
That
beer.
Chardonnay taste really comes through, but
Yeah.
not in an overpowering.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's a Chardonnay beer. See, Chardonnay and beer. There you go. No, it's like you know what I'm saying.
Right. It's an excellent mix.
Well balanced.
Yeah, very
Perfect.
well balanced with the Belgian. And this beer actually used to be called. I think it used to just be called Chardonnay something. But they had to change the name because it isn't actually have anything Chardonnay in it other than the fact that it was aged in the Chardonnay barrels. So I personally like the Melange A Trois, a better name anyway. So
Yeah, it's a more sophisticated sounding name.
yes, it's highbrow,
Like the beer.
which obviously I am.
Should I drink it with my pinky out?
Perhaps. So
Don't you anyway? I mean, I always do. Like,
What are we gonna pair this with?
well, on recommendation from our very own Dr. Bill, we are
course.
doing crab cakes with a triple cream brie. I'm actually going to dig in while you guys stare at it.
I will also dig in. These smelled really good when
They are good.
they were being cooked. That's tasty.
Crab cakes.
Okay, so am I supposed to eat it first and then take a drink?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, there's no
You can
like certain
swirl it in your mouth.
procedure.
Yeah, it's just
Basically, you just want the flavors Not necessarily the food, but just like the flavors kind of still in your mouth as you drink the beer. They'll wash together. You'll kind of get the... Brings out a nice sweetness to the beer.
That's good.
I'm not a big fan of them
Crab
together.
cakes? Really?
Yeah.
Talk about it.
I think I might prefer the beer by itself,
Okay.
but that's just my own personal...
I see what you're saying about that, because
Yeah.
actually while I was drinking it, I was thinking this is like a good wedding beer. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
It's something if you're having a wedding and you don't want champagne or wine, but you want beer, perfect.
Yes.
It's perfect. So having it alone, definitely, for me, I totally agree with you. But I do think it works with the crab cakes. However, on the back end, the fishiness of the crab still lingers quite a bit, and it kind of
gives it a
takes
weird
down a
aftertaste,
couple
yeah.
notches for
Gives it a
how much
weird
I appreciate
aftertaste.
the beer. So, but it's good. I like
very
it.
tasty,
I'm
yeah,
actually try it with the Brie.
I think that if I was going to be doing like a beer dinner, this would definitely be a starter beer as far as like the aperitif goes with the cheese plates and that kind of stuff. Because that's definitely where I get off of this. But
What about like maybe an after dinner beer? Is there such thing, or...
like a dessert beer,
Yeah.
maybe I could see it by itself as a dessert beer. I don't think I'd pair it with anything sweet necessarily because it's
'Cause
got
it's
a
already
nice
sweet
it's got a nice
itself.
sweetness to it already, and I think that might kind of push that a little too far.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, actually with the Brie, I just tried it. It's really good. It's perfect, in my opinion. Yeah. Everything melds very nicely.
So now, Aric, you are a semi-recent converter to craft beer.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a little bit of responsibility for that. I think.
Definitely. I'm more of a, I guess you could say, a tequila drinker.
Yeah.
Which is
And
cool.
I just started
Oh, the
drinking
shots of
a
tequila
lot.
we've done.
San Francisco is never the same.
Bam Bam in the White House? No?
Bam, bam,
Yeah, Bam in the White House. It had to come back for this
Ashley,
episode. Yep.
I still don't know what that
That's a
means.
cheers to the beer wench. It's an inside joke. So
Oh, I definitely like it a lot more with the Brie.
yeah.
Doesn't it go really well?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Definitely.
It's a pretty creamy cheese, and it's a very bubbly beer, and it works very well together. In
This
the
is
taste.
this
Yeah.
is phenomenal. I'm really, really, really happy that you guys sent this to us. 'Cause
Oh, totally.
I've been craving this beer
Awesome.
since I had it previous, and I know that we're not going to get their beers here anytime soon. But,
And there's no possible way we could like go online and order them, or...
no,
Perhaps.
they don't sell. Yeah, there's probably maybe an online retailer. I'd have to track that down. That's a good call. And maybe talk
Maybe a
to
place
the,
like Brews and Ales might possibly get their hands on something like this.
Yeah, but the problem is Brews and Ales is on the East Coast. They're just as far away from these guys
yeah,
as
that's
we
true.
are. So
That's true.
But definitely, if you're in the Midwest, check them out. Nebraska Brewing Company. They're NE Brewing Co. on Twitter. Paul Kovalak, which is, I think, their head brewer or owner. I should have looked that up. Sorry, Paul. He's awesome. He's also on Twitter, P. Kuvalak, excuse me. Angela Arp and the Arps. Tyson is also their head brewer. So,
Really?
yeah, that's the connection there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So all these guys, their Twitter names will be just streaming across right here. It'll be crazy.
No, they
So
won't.
follow them all.
Just when Steve does this, it's an automatic sign for me not to do that.
John's like, yeah, that's not happening now.
No,
Don't tell me how to do my job.
It's a really, really good beer. I didn't expect it to be as good as it is. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that
Right.
I didn't know what to expect.
You
from
always
it.
have an expectation when you see a label or you see a name or
Oh, yeah.
what the style is and kind of a preconceived, because I know you still have a thing with Belgians.
No, that is slowly going away,
Slowly
actually.
going away, okay.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm pretty much over that at this point because I know what to expect from Belgians right now. And before, if you don't know what to expect from a Belgian beer, that's what you're going, oh, what is this? And that's why
I wanna
was.
find
now,
out-
I have definitely, I'm a Belgian fan at this point.
I want to
officially
find out if
converted.
they used a Belgian yeast for this, which I'm assuming they did, which is what makes it a Belgian blonde. I would love to try this beer with the wine yeast that Julian used.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Because that
too,
would
yeah.
kind of bring it to the dryness of the...
aged in the Chardonnay barrels also.
Yeah, it would just totally bring out more of the dryness from the wine aspect of it. I think it'd be very interesting.
Yeah, it would.
So, so right now we're going to go ahead and shoot off to a Master Pairings, and you will enjoy it. And if you don't,
You will die.
probably.
What was that?
I don't know.
Hi everyone, welcome to another Master Pairings. Today I have John Holzer,
Hi.
and we're going to try some couple great beers and some really good food.
I've never had these beers,
Okay.
so this is going to be cool.
French Bier de Garde. It's a farmhouse ale. Basically, Belgium and France have borders, and on the Belgium side, they have what are called saisons, or seasonal ales, farmhouse ales. And on the French side, they have beers that they call Bier de Gardes. Both have a nice spice background. These are more malty compared to the saisons usually, which are a little crisper, cleaner, a little more peppery notes. So I have a French country ale, Saint Armand. It's a 5.5% country ale. And I also have an American version by our own Tommy Arthur at the Lost Abbey, his Avant Garde ale. And of course, because it's made in America, it's 7% alcohol, so it's a little bit higher.
Go big or go home.
First let's, I'll let you open that. Be careful. It's been out a little bit. It's at cellar temperature, so it may be slightly explosive or it may not. And I'll open this and pour those, and then we'll switch a glass. Yeah.
All right, cool.
And that way we can try them both at the same time with the food.
All right. Oh!
Yeah, that's what I meant by explosive.
Dude.
So what you normally want to do when you open anything, whether
I
go ahead and
barely
pour.
touched it, I swear to God.
Yeah, that's why. That's kind of the connotations of. We're live. So when you want to open a cork, whether champagne or a beer, you gently rotate the bottle, holding the cork still, letting it extrude slightly from the neck of the beer until you release just a little bit of gas like that, and you minimize the amount of carbonation loss. Okay? So whenever you're ready to pour that monster, feel free to.
I'm doing the same thing he did with the cork with my thumb.
Sorry, I should have warned you. But there you go.
We are good on this now.
Perfect.
Although most of it's on my hand.
Okay. So I'm going to give you one of these. I'm going to take one of those.
All right.
And we are set. So let's try the traditional ale first.
The traditional, right there.
Yes. So it's an Brie.
Cheers.
Nice red colors. Kind of burnt sienna. Burnt sienna color.
Yeah.
Spicy notes.
It smells really
Really
good.
interesting.
It smells very traditional.
Yes. The French ales are not as well received as the Belgian ales because they don't have as much of the funky characteristics, but there are many great Bier de Gardes out there, and they have a fabulous flavor profile, and they go great with food.
This tastes great.
I'm also going to try Tommy's version right now. This has a different nose.
Yeah, it's almost a little more spicy.
That has more
Sweeter.
winter spices. This is closer to saison. It's got that spice profile. Now I will say French Bier de Gardes come in ambries, and they come in golden colors, or kind of a blonde. So this is more of a blonde Bier de Garde style. It still has that big, huge malt flavor. Really good, real characteristic. So today I have some special treats for us. Beautiful rosemary roasted chicken, fingerling potatoes, and my good friend John Calabrese brought some of his estate rosemary. So they're just to accent it, and I cooked a little with it. So let me cut you off a little piece of this roasted chicken. There you go. You can just attack that piece.
Thank you.
I'm going in the same way.
I'm going to start with the traditional first.
Okay.
That's perfect. I like that a lot.
It brings out a little more of the sweetness in this.
Yeah.
But it really plays up the chicken really well.
That's good. Now for the Tommy Arthur.
Oh, yeah. Let's see how Tommy's beer holds up with it. Wow, really brings out the maltiness, but much subtler because of the degree of SRM, or basically, which is a scale for color. So the malts are not quite as roasted, so they're a little lighter in color. And the spices play really well.
I get more of that saison characteristic with the chicken too.
I can see that. It's more of a blonde.
Really good.
Don't be afraid when you're pouring craft beer for pouring down the middle and getting a nice head on your beer.
I fear no head.
It definitely cuts through and refreshes your palate. So let's jump into this risotto.
Boom.
This is a little mushroom herb risotto, and I have some 14-month aged Parmesan.
Okay.
Excuse me, aged Parmesan that I actually shredded over it.
Looks really good. That is good.
Nice, creamy, just delicious. Wow. Once again, it brings out a lot of those nice floral, flowery notes.
Yeah. I get a lot of sweetness off of it too.
Yep. You got a little salinity from the Parmesan, and then the umami effect from the mushrooms, and the risotto, that kind of unctuous mouthfeel that's just like satiating.
Try it with the Tommy beer.
Now see, this is even though it's a starch also, just like the potatoes, I'm not getting that bitterness that I did with the potatoes and the rosemary and the oil. I'm getting this more mellow, this really nice, well-balanced characteristic coming from it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. But I do think it definitely it's sweeter with the risotto. That's the traditional beer.
Yeah, the Brie plays really nice. And then on top of that, we got a little cheese. Now, triple cream Brie I have is fabulous. It goes great with so many different beers.
That cheese is like oozing. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Well, this is Camembert, and Camembert is another bloomy rind cheese, just like Brie's, for example, but it's runny and it has that. The French have a term for a cheese that's like this, which is much more intense, and they call it the feet of God.
Ah.
And so you kind of get where I'm going. It's kind of this runny, unctuous. I recommend you taste the Brie first.
Okay.
Because it's much more subtle, and you may lose a lot of the characteristics if you have the Camembert first. Ooh. I really like the way it not only brings out more of the sweetness and floral notes in this, but it still keeps the whole balance of the cheese.
Oh,
It plays really well.
that's really good with this.
Yeah, it is.
I like that a lot. Try it with Tommy's.
Tommy's beer is no slouch with this either. It's just slightly different. It's not as sweet, but it has really great characteristics.
Yeah. They both blend very well with that cheese. This is perfect cheese for both of these.
Now we're talking bad boy.
That cheese scares me.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I don't know how to approach this. It's like melted, but it's not. Oh.
What's the matter, John?
It's you have to let it sit in your mouth for a little while, and then all of a sudden you get this like really the feet of God taste from it. You know what I mean? It's like
you walk in, you're sitting on
What's
a
that
couch,
taste?
and you're sitting on a couch, right? And
sitting on a couch.
you're at your buddy's house, and all of a sudden you start smelling something, and you reach in the cushions, and you find those old gym socks that have been sitting
That's-
there.
that's-
that
yeah.
just appears, and it's got this really funky,
It's pungent.
pungent,
Ooh.
barnyardy flavor, but a lot of people love it. I love flavors.
I'm not
like
saying
this.
it's bad. It's just I didn't.
This is
expect
great with
that.
Bier de Garde, a saison, a triple really cuts through that. And
As far as with this, the cheese is still. It's in my nose. Like that's how stinky and pungent it is.
oh, I think, well, because I'm not as salted as you are by the Camembert, I think the beer brings out nice roasted malts and nice flavors. And then Tommy's beer, wow, it's really vibrant with it. I think Tommy's beer really matches the intensity of it.
It does.
I think it comes out really nicely.
It's complemented a lot more with Tommy's beer.
Yeah,
than
it
the
plays really
traditional.
well, and I don't. It's not as assaultive, and it really subdues the Camembert.
That's a very
And yeah.
interesting cheese, though, for
Yeah,
someone
no.
that's never had it.
Yeah, this is a classic. There's a lot of really funky cheeses that have come out of artisanal places now that far exceed this, believe it or not.
Really?
But historically, 25 years ago, everybody go Camembert, ooh, plug your nose kind of thing. But now this has been far surpassed by some other funky cheeses that I can bring on one of my future episodes. I'll make sure you're my guest.
I will definitely try it because that by far is the most interesting cheese I've ever had.
Awesome.
So,
all right, John, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for watching another Master Pairings.
Craft Beer Advocate.
This week's signed copy of the Beer Wars DVD goes to our craft beer advocate, Paul, from San Diego. Paul writes in, "Hello, my name's Paul. I'm from San Diego and a fellow craft beer advocate. Hey, Paul. I've been on a journey for the past year and a half discovering and learning as much about craft beer as possible. I was introduced to craft beer when I joined my dad for dinner at Stone Brewing and tried their Stone tasting flight. I was absolutely blown away by the flavor and intensity of the beer and fell in love. I dove full force into the biggest, strongest, most bitter beers I could find. Since then, I've been trying to search out every different type of style possible. My story of craft beer advocacy takes place at my place of business. This past December, I opened up my own fitness studio in Normal Heights, actually just blocks away from Blind Lady Ale House. Craft beer was one of my passions behind fitness. I talk to my gym members all the time about different beers that I've been trying and recommend things for them to try. I have even put together several beer tastings for small groups of our members for them to try really great beer. The first tasting was a barrel-aged beer tasting with bottles like Curio, Supplication, Angel's Share, and a slew of other great beers. Most people that attended didn't even know that beers like this existed. The second tasting I had recently was a Dogfish Head tasting. I've been trading for all sorts of DFH brews from East Coasters and held a tasting with the bottles that I had acquired. Everyone was impressed and loved the evening. Pretty often now, after the weekend has passed, members will come in for a class and tell me about the different beers they've tried at a bar or picked up at a bottle shop. It's really fun to have some members of ours join us at Blind Lady Ale House and ask for recommendations on beers and watch them start to learn and appreciate good beer and stay away from generic macro brews. Sincerely, Paul. Cheers, Paul, and thanks for your great letter. If you'd like to send us a letter and be a craft beer advocate, please do so at advocate@newbrewthursday.com, and maybe we'll pick yours to be on the show.
Boom.
Eric, you and I have a little project going on the side.
We sure do.
And talk about that a little bit.
It's a.
I don't want to self-promote.
It's a Doctor Who podcast called PandoraCast. You can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/PandoraCast.
And we're also online at pandoracast.com, and we basically get together and we ramble about Doctor Who. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, check us out, because...
Yeah.
in case you don't know who Doctor Who is, it's a British sci-fi television series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
About a time
the British
traveler.
sci-fi series. It's iconic in their culture.
It's really good. I actually got into it because of you guys.
Yeah.
And
You also have some other top secret projects coming along.
A couple of them I'm actually not going to say anything right now.
Alright.
It's still in the early stages of development, so...
Eric's working on actually
but-
becoming internet famous.
he's built a solid foundation.
I'm actually working on having fun with a bunch of different random people, and
Right
that's
on.
that's what I'm all about, having fun with different people.
That sounds like,
Yeah.
what am I thinking of?
I'm trying to get the sexual jokes to just stop coming through my head. Again, thank you, Nebraska Brewing Company, for sending us this beer. This is awesome and amazing. I will take kegs of your beer at any time you'd like to send them to me.
If you'd like to send more,
Yes.
Seriously.
review
it-
Or at least provide a way for me to purchase it
Yeah.
at any given time, because I would love to send you all of my money. Anyway, so thank you very much. This was great. The master pairing that we had here was fantastic. So
yeah.
thanks, Bill,
Eric,
for giving
thank
us
you
that
for being
information.
on the show.
Thank you for
Definitely.
having me.
Like-
Big hugs,
Thank you.
awkward hugs later.
And thank you for
Okay.
being on Twitter and for being everything that you are.
Thank you for
because-
being born. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
whatever.
Nice.
you totally stole my thunder.
No. But, a word of warning. PhatEmoKid is a little not safe for work. Hashtag just saying.
Yeah, just a little.
I would defend myself, but there
it's-
really isn't any.
Yeah.
So, well, as always, guys, stay safe. Drink beer.